What we're looking at right now is SDA. SDA is a statistical analysis program that lives in your browser. Do not be frightened by the term statistical analysis. I have been teaching this to first-year college students since 2008. Everybody can do it. It might seem a little intimidating at first, but by the end of the semester, it will seem very easy. Okay, how do we get to this page? Open up, search for SDA archive, like so. And it will be the first link, SDA archive. Now here's a page of the various surveys that can be analyzed in SDA. And you can scroll down, you see there's the US Census, there's racial attitudes and prejudices, there's a variety of them. What we're going to be working with now is the General Social Survey. So click on that very first link there that says General Social Survey, Cumulative Data File 1972 to 2014. And boom, there we go. Here we are in SDA. This is our stats program, and into our stats program we have loaded the GSS survey data. GSS is a survey, big survey that's given in the United States since 1972 every year until around 2000 or so, and then every other year since then. It's a wonderful survey with all kinds of questions. How do you know what survey questions are in SDA? How do you look for survey questions that might interest you? Well, you can see we've got code books up here. Code book by year of interview. If you know what year your question was asked, you can look in there, or if you're interested in this particular historical time period, you can search for the year in there. Standard code book contains all of the survey years. It's organized in two ways. Sequential variable list over here. Click on that, and you can see these are questions organized into different groups by topic. I'm going to click on personal concerns, human nature. And the first question here is world image, much evil versus much good. Here's a survey question. People have different images of the world and human nature. We'd like to know the kinds of images you have, yada, yada, yada. Here's the cards. So they're asking you to choose on a scale of 1 to 7. Do you think the world is evil? That would be a 1. Give me a 7 if you think the world is good, or some number in between. This survey question is called World 1. This is because the GSS began back in 1972 when computers did not have much power compared to today. And survey question variable names such as survey questions had to have 8 characters or less. So we're still living with that ancient limitation that doesn't really apply today. So each survey question is named with 8 characters or less. This survey question is named World 1. And we've got the text of the question and the possible responses. So that's one way to look for questions. Open the code book and click on sequential variable list. If you already know the code name for your particular survey question, you can add it in the alphabetical list. The other way to search the code book is within SDA itself. Now over here in the lower left-hand corner of the screen, we've got basically the code book is replicated, the sequential part of the code book. So if we go to personal concerns, click on that arrow, click on human nature, and there is World 1. When I click on World 1, what happens? It pops up here in the selected box. And if I click the view button, I get the same entry that I saw in the code book just now. So 2 ways to get to the code book. One is by looking for it up here. The other is by digging around over here in the bottom left. Let's look at this code book entry and look at these numbers. The value is just the value that the respondent means the person who answered the survey question. The value is the number that the respondent was asked to give. Choose a value between 1 and 7, with 1 representing world is evil, 7 representing world is good. So the value doesn't really mean anything for our purposes. It just organizes the responses. N stands for number, stands for the number of people. So 952 people said the world is evil. 2,477 people said the world is good, and in between. Notice this big number down here, 42,888 people answered 0, or IAP. What does IAP stand for? I'm not sure exactly what IAP stands for, but what it means is that these are people who did not answer the survey question because they were never asked the survey question. The GSS does not ask every question every year. So there, since if you look at this number down here up to 2000 through 2014, 59,599 people have been surveyed between 1972 and 2014. Of those 59,000 people, 42,000, almost 43,000 were never asked this question. So we don't care about those answers. DK stands for don't know. So 50 people were asked this question and they said, I don't know. We don't really care about their answers anyways. 280 people were asked the question. NA stands for no answer. For whatever reason, they refused to answer the question. So if you were coded as 0, 8, or 9, we don't really care about your answer. You did not give a substantive, meaningful answer. We don't care about you. So when we calculate the percentages, we're only counting people who actually gave a meaningful answer between 1 and 7. Of those people who gave a meaningful answer, 5.8% said the world is evil, 15.1% said the world is good. Most of the time, when we're analyzing survey data, we'll be primarily interested in the percentages. Occasionally, for some purposes, we might look at the actual ends, but most of the time we'll be looking at percentages. Okay, so you click anywhere on the screen and that will disappear. And we're back to the main page here. Let's say I have a hypothesis that men and women will answer this question differently. So this row button here, I'm going to click on that, and what happens? World 1 pops up over here on the right in the row box. I'm going to type sex into the column box. I typed it in uppercase letters. It doesn't matter. The SDA does not care whether this is uppercase or lowercase. It's not case sensitive. I go down here to the Run the Table button, click that button, a new window comes up and it gives me a table. So it's that easy to make a table. That's all there is to it. In the next video, we'll talk about how to set up a table and how to read a table. But hopefully you've seen that SDA is very easy to use. Just a couple clicks and you've made a table. That's all there is to it. Nothing to be frightened about here.